Deuteronomy chapter 32. Listen, heavens, I have something to tell you. Attention, earth, I've got a mouth full of words. My teaching, let it fall like a gentle rain. My words arrive like morning dew, like a springing rain on new grass, like spring showers on the garden. For it's God's name I'm preaching. Respond to the greatness of our God, the rock. His works are perfect, and the way he works is fair and just. A God you can depend on, no exceptions, a straight arrow God. His mixed up children, his non-children throw mud at him, but none of it sticks. Don't you realise it is God you are treating like this? This is crazy. Don't you have any sense of reverence? Isn't this your Father who created you, who made you and gave you a place on earth? Read up on what happened before you were born. Dig into the past. Understand your roots. Ask your parents what it was like before you were born. Ask the old ones. They'll tell you a thing or two. When the high God gave the nations their stake, gave them their place on earth, he put each of the people within boundaries under the care of divine guardians. But God himself took charge of his people, took Jacob on his personal concern. He found him out in the wilderness, in an empty, windswept wasteland. He threw his arms around him, lavished attention on him, guarding him as the apple of his eye. He was like an eagle hovering over its nest, overshadowing its young, then spreading its wings, lifting them into the air, teaching them to fly. God alone led him. There was not a foreign God in sight. God lifted him onto the hilltops so he could feast on the crops in the fields. He fed him honey from the rock, oil from granite crags, curds of cattle and the milk of sheep, the choice cuts of lambs and goats, fine Bashan rams, high quality wheat, and the blood of grapes. You drank good wine. Jeshurun put on weight and bucketed. You got fat, became obese, a tub of lard. He abandoned the God who made him. He mocked the rock of his salvation. They made him jealous with their foreign trendy gods, and with their obscenities they vexed him no end. They sacrificed to no god demons, gods that knew nothing about. The latest in gods, fresh from the market, gods from ancestors would never call gods. You walked out on the rock who gave you your life, forgot the birth God who brought you into the world. God saw it and spun around, angered and hurt by his sons and daughters. He said, from now on, I'm looking the other way. Wait and see what happens to them. Oh, they've turned around, upside down generation. Who knows what they'll do from one moment to the next? They've goaded me with their no gods, infuriated me with their hot air gods. I'm going to goad them with a no people, with a hollow nation incense them. My anger started a fire, a wildfire burning deep down in Sheol, then shooting up and devouring the earth and its crops, setting all the mountains from bottom to top on fire. I'll pile catastrophes on them. I'll shoot my arrows at them. Starvation, blistering heat, killing disease. I'll send snarling wild animals to attack from the forest and venomous creatures to strike from the dust, killing in the streets, terror in the houses, young men and virgins alike struck down, and yes, breastfeeding babies and grey-haired old men. I could have said, I'll hack them to pieces, wipe out all trace of them from earth. except that I feared the enemy would grab the chance to take credit for all of it. Crowing like what he did. God had nothing to do with this. They were a nation of idiots. They don't know enough to come in out of the rain. If they had any sense at all, they'd know this. They would see what's coming down the road. How could one soldier chase 1,000 enemies off, or 2 men run off 2,000, unless their rock had sold them, unless God had given them away? For their rock is nothing compared to our rock. Even our enemies say that. They're a vine that comes right out of Sodom. Who they are is rooted in Gomorrah. Their grapes are poisonous grapes. Their grape-clusters bitter. Their wine is rattlesnake venom, mixed with a lethal cobra poison. Don't you realise that I have my shelter well stocked, locked behind iron doors? I'm in charge of vengeance and payback, just waiting for them to slip up. And the day of their doom is just around the corner, sudden and swift and sure. Yes, God will judge his people, but oh, how compassionately he'll do it. When he sees their weakened plight and there is no one left, slave or free, he'll say, so where are the gods? The rock in which they sought refuge, the gods who feasted on the fat of their sacrifices and drank the wine of their drink offerings. Let them show their stuff and help you. Let them give you a hand. Do you see it now? Do you see that I'm the one? Do you see that there's no other God besides me? I bring death and I give life. I wound and I heal. There is no getting away from or around me. I raise my hand in solemn oath. I say, I'm always around. By that very life I promise. When I sharpen my lightning sword and execute judgment, I take vengeance on my enemies and pay back those who hate me. I'll make my arrows drunk with blood. My sword will gorge itself on flesh, feasting on slain and captives alike, and proud and vain enemy corpses. Celebrate, nations. Join the praise of his people. He avenges the deaths of his servants, pays back his enemies with vengeance, and cleanses his land for his people. Moses came and recited all the words of this song in the hearing of the people. He and Joshua, son of Nun. When Moses had finished saying all these words to Israel, he said, take to heart all these words to which I give witness today, and urgently command your children to put them into practice. Every single word of this revelation. Yes, this is no small matter for you. It's your life. In keeping this word, you'll have a good and long life in this land that you're crossing the Jordan to possess. That same day, God spoke to Moses, climb the Abarim mountains to Mount Nebo in the land of Moab, overlooking Jericho, and view the land of Canaan that I'm giving the people of Israel to have and hold. Die on the mountain that you climb, and join your people in the ground, just as your brother Aaron did on Mount Hor and joined his people. This is because you broke faith with me in the company of the people of Israel, at the waters of Meribah Kadesh, in the wilderness of Zin. You didn't honour my holy presence in the company of the people of Israel. You look at the land spread out before you, but you won't enter it, this land that I am giving to the people of Israel.